What's going on, guys? No Games here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video I'm going to show you how to get better in the Gulag, what the things and why maybe you're not winning in the Gulag. There's some key things that you can use even if your aim is not that good. These will help you win, and there's some key tips I don't see any of the YouTube videos on, so I thought I'll make a quick video on it. The first one is the most important thing is when you go into the Gulag is to always look at the surrounding areas. Now when you die and you go into the Gulag, instead of punching other people and throwing stones, look at the layout of the map. Now, in case you don't know, in a Gulag, there's different maps. Every single time you go into a Gulag, there's a different map. Some of them, the center might be a bit different. Sometimes the center might be a bit curved. Even if you die with your teammates, sometimes you could be sent to different Gulags. So basically, the map is random. But you know what map you're playing as soon as you get into the spawn. So as soon as you get into the Gulag, look at the surrounding areas and look at the map. So then you know when you go into the game what the map is like. Now this is actually very important. Now another tip you can use is if, for example, you go to the far right hand side, for example, like so. As you can see, I can see the number here on the wall and I can see the map layout as well. So that means when I spawn in, I know if it's that number, I know what side I'm on. If it's not that number, I know I'm on the opposite side. But the most important thing is you need to understand how the map is, because some of the maps, they have entrances only on the right hand side. So if you know which side you're on, you know that your opponent has to go all the way around you, so you know where your opponent's going to be all the time. Let's say, for example, you're playing very patient, you're waiting for the final 10 seconds for the flag to appear. You know your opponent has to come towards you from the right hand side, for example, if you know that's the only entrance. So do that. Another thing as well is, squads can help you. If you're both spawned in the same Gulag and you die at the same time, the best thing I would say, if you're not playing solo and you're in squads, help each other out, give each other information. Now, the information that I see is mainly like, oh, he's on my side, he's on your side. The best advice I can give you is give it to advice. Like, let's say, for example, you are watching your friend. Try to give advice in a first person perspective for your friend. So let's say, for example, your friend's in a Gulag. Say, okay, the opponent is on your right hand side. The opponent's on your left hand side. He's on the far right hand side. This is the best way to give information, because the brain just processes it much more quicker than saying, oh, he's on my side, because then your friend in the Gulag has to then look at where you are and then see where he is. Whereas if you say he's far left, right, middle left, he knows where you are, where your opponent is. It's very, very easy. Now, if you are going into the Gulag and you're going, let's say you die with your team, but your team don't die and you're in by yourself, there is this kind of method. I would say in the first 3 seconds, if you're playing online, I would say just rush. The reason why is if your opponent died with this team, they're going to give information on where you're at. So your highest chance of survival, statistically speaking, is if you rush in the first 3 seconds. The second thing is, obviously, if you're playing solos, there's going to be no one helping them out. You can look for the stones if you want to, but the most important thing is understanding, when's the right time. So when's the right time to rush or to be patient? You can do a mix of each, but in my opinion, if you're going to rush, it has to be in the first 3 seconds. If not, you're going to have to play it patient. Now, in terms of the guns, there's multiple guns. It's mainly just shotguns and pistols. For example, you have the handgun, which is like a 4-bullet kill. A magnum is a 2-bullet kill, a 3-bullet kill, should I say, to the torso, what I'm referring to. The deagle is a 2-shot kill. And some of the shotguns, like the double-barrel shotgun, is a 1-shot kill, even from range. But like some, the automatic shotguns take 3 bullets, so you have to get used to them. I would say go into plunder, give it a test, give it a try, just so you get used to the weapons. One other thing I want to say as well is try to use your equipment. When you spawn, look at what equipment you have. It's very, very important. It's quite kind of overlooked. Remember, you have, you can either get a claymore, sometimes you get a flashbang. Every time it changes and rotates up. Now, what I would advise you to do is, what people are doing now is they're cooking a grenade and they're dashing it in the beginning. So what they're doing is they're taking a grenade. So what I do is I take a grenade, cook it, I throw it, and then I go the opposite way. So that way you're kind of eliminating most of the options, because your opponent's always going to be on one side, always going to be in the middle. The second thing is to use your equipment. I like to use flashbangs. I like to use them off the wall. So like, for example, in this clip, I just throw the flashbang up in the sky, off the ceiling, and it normally gets them every single time. Obviously, listen to sounds. Sounds is very important, but when you're playing solo and even when you're in the Gulag, I wouldn't say look at the stones. I know people throw stones to give away locations, but some people just throw it randomly. So don't rely on the stones, but listen to what your opponent's footsteps are. Listen to where he is. Like, I normally stand in the middle. That way I know if my opponent's on my left or on my right. So if you do push. One thing I wanted to say as well with claymores are pretty good because you can cover one side if you rush towards the middle and you can go the other side. C4s are good, for example, in the final 10 seconds when the flag comes up, to throw a C4 into the flag. And smokes are pretty good just to smoke the complete area through. So I would say throw a smoke, but actually walk into the smoke. If you do that most of the time, your opponent doesn't catch you. And yeah, so that's the most important thing. And I said be patient. One thing I would say, one final advice is when you are, let's say you're not doing, let's say in terms of movement, try to use a dolphin dive, the prone on the floor. If you're on PS4 control, Xbox, change to the tactical button layout. So you just press the right analog stick to prone, or you can slide. It's very, very effective to move, or change it up. So if you go to your opponent and you fake him and you go back again, do something different so you can't judge what you're doing. And I would say try to avoid staying in the middle. If you're gonna rush, then go to the middle for obvious reasons, or go to one side. But if you're playing it patient, don't go down the middle, just stay on the outskirts. The reason why is if your back is against the wall, you basically only have to look at 270 degrees, in front of you and to the left and to the right. So your back is always covered. So this way, you're not gonna have to worry about your opponent creeping up behind you. So if you're ever being patient, don't run towards the middle unless you have to get the flag, obviously. But just try to rotate around the outskirts. Let your opponents rush towards the middle. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, boys, and I'll catch you next time. I'll be having some more videos on my channel in relating to Warzone as well. Peace out.